Hey guys, how's it going? So, Donkey Kong Bananza is here, a new title for the Switch 2, a groundbreaking new platformer from Nintendo, and oh man, is it fucking great. Here's our review on it and honest thoughts, and here we go. So basically, the game consists of Donkey Kong going through this underground world accompanied by Pauline, and they're going through layers to basically go down to the deepest layer and to possibly or hopefully get out of this underground world that they're stuck in. Now, the game does great with every layer. It is technically very, very pleasing to see, very, very impressive, and the game does a lot with each layer. It goes into different world. There's different distinctive biomes that you go through, sort of like a Mario World kind of game, and it does it really, really smoothly. It's a 3D world platformer that fully utilizes these biomes, these environments, and it's really, really great at it. These completely destructive environments that you can interact with are so superbly done. It shows a master of a craft in Nintendo and its video game making, and it's honestly really fun. The game is extremely fun. Now, even though it's a really, really good game and it runs impressively smooth for everything that it's doing and all the things considered, I do have to say that honestly, I want to get the bad stuff out of the way first, but it does have some bad stuff that prevents it from being perfect. Now, I have three things that have been pet peeves with this game that I didn't enjoy particularly, that were completely just unnecessary or just unrefined to a certain point. But there are three main things. First of all is basically the story here. Basically, the story here is pretty much non-existent. Now, the platformers don't really need a strong story. The gameplay is kind of the main focus here. They're not a story mode kind of game. Now, here, unfortunately, the story does take such a backseat that it really forgets to even exist at one point. And that is lacking. Now, the second point that is negative for this game is the boss battles. The boss battles are extremely lacking and unamusing. The boss battles consist of the very basic kind of run-of-the-mill boss battles that we have seen Nintendo done a couple of times now. It's these big bosses, big flashy set pieces where they do a move and you just have to avoid it, and then you have to hit the boss and do it 3 times and it's over. They are so repetitive and so easy to do that you could probably do with one hand, and the challenge is very, very easy. The boss battles here are the main disappointment for me because they look extremely fun and they look extremely antagonizing and all this stuff, and you look at, wow, it's such a clash. And from the first one to the really last one, there's just not much of a challenge here. And you are extremely powerful too. And if you know all of the tools at your disposal, it's basically game over. There's really no battle here. And the third and last, and not the biggest one by far, is very, very simple. The enemy variety here is just lacking, to be honest. The enemies are here, they're a little bit different from each layer, but they are not really antagonizing or even difficult to any point. They never present a challenge, and once you know a way around them, it's basically like they're not even there. They're extremely simple. Now, visually, the game looks fantastic. It utilizes the Switch 2 to its full potential. It never frame rate dropped for me, like really, really bad. Obviously, there were some times where the game really had a lot of different things in it, a lot of different elements, and it did crash for a bit, but nothing too drastic or even noticeable at times. The game runs really, really smoothly and is really surprising. Because technically speaking, it is a lot that is going on with everything, that the environment is completely manageable. You can completely destroy the world and they end up looking completely different to when you arrive. It's awesome to see, and it really runs really, really great. The game is optimized to a T. It really shows Nintendo's like new professional kind of way of developing games, where they just manage with so much complications in the beginning and stuff, that now they really are this masters of their craft. The game runs amazing. It does a lot of things, and it never crashes, it never budges, and it never is afraid of throwing you more elements, more things to destroy, and to keep testing the console and the game. And it runs very, very good. This is perfect for the game. Now, the soundtrack once again, composed by David Wise, who's also like a very, very famous Nintendo composer, delivers exactly what you expect. Catchy, energetic tunes that perfectly match the gameplay. Multiplayer is where things get a bit messy though. Co-op is fun, but the camera is kind of a con when it comes to the game. The camera has a lot of things happening, and when you have the co-op, it really messes up with everything. I won't go into detail, but the camera is a little bit of a problem. But to be honest, with how ambitious this game is, with its mechanics and all this stuff, I'm going to give it a pass because the camera worked just fine for me, but I heard that people have problems with it. One of the new mechanics is the Bananza system, essentially a way to collect and use bananas to craft items or trigger mini events and levels. It is a fun twist through, honestly, it doesn't go as deep as I expected. It's more of a small side mechanic than a game changer, but it does add a bit of replay value. You can also get to manage Diddy Kong, Dixie, and you can also have your partner, which is Pauline, which is basically and also somebody that acts within the game with her singing, with getting to discover this new little paths, these new little worlds, this new little like challenges on the side. And it's honestly pretty fun. The challenges kind of work as the shrines in Zelda, where you kind of have to use not really all your skills, but each particular skill mastered through a certain way. That is really cool because there's no a certain way of doing it, but they're usually trying to exploit all your knowledge in one move or one particular skill. That is always cool to see. It's always challenging and fun, and it's refreshing. You also have some customizable items like the skin of Donkey Kong. You can change the color. You can put in like a new trunks or like a tie, whatever. And also for Pauline, you can have different suits, and it's cool and it's interesting. And honestly, it's there. It's not that drastic. Some of them have a little bit of an added bonus to whatever it is. Maybe the world is poisonous, and then this like costume does a trick, whatever it is. Usually there's some of that, but it's really not that changing. Now, overall, Donkey Kong Bananza is a fun, polished to a T platformer that respects the series' roots, honors them while trying a few new ideas. It's not revolutionary, but it's definitely worth playing. And if you're a fan of the franchise or just love a good platformer, a good old times Nintendo game, this is the perfect game. I would say this is a must, and honestly, I would consider it a system seller, and I could see it even winning Game of the Year. I don't want to sound recency biased here, but it's really good. I give it an overall score of a 9 out of 10. Very solid. And replay value is great, and honestly, it's going to be a good game to watch people play all the time. Thank you guys for watching.